This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted today to be joined by Mr. Archie Sharp here over Zoom. Archie, first of all, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And how is everything, mate?
No, all good, thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on. I hope all is well, you well, mate.
Yeah, so looking back at your last fight, obviously not the night for yourself, your first professional defeat against Ryan Garner.
Yeah.
But a great fight nonetheless. What have you took away from that a few months on now from reflecting on it?
Yeah, do you know what it is? I think obviously coming away and reflecting on the performance, I was just more disappointed with myself. I didn't Brian's a good kid, and it's a fight I believe I know I'm capable of winning. It's just a matter of game plans, and I kind of let my game plan go out the window. It was a good fight. Listen, I enjoyed the whole event. It was nice to be back in a good domestic fight. But I just feel like I beat myself there by allowing myself to hold my feet and um and yeah, just not stick to my own game plan and box and move, you know. But it was a close fight. I definitely think it was a close fight. Some of the scorecards I think were wider than what it was. Um, but yeah, we just reset. And to be fair, I look at it now as a bit of a blessing in disguise because I'd rather do that now with an opponent who I know I'm capable of beating. Obviously, if we get the rematch, I'll put that to bed and then I'll show everyone what I know I can do. But I mean, uh, but moving forward now for the big fights, so the big names that I've been looking at, like the Valdez's and things like that, and the Navarretes, I can't be boxing like that, if you know what I mean.
So would you almost say the fight with Ryan Garner was a bit of a wake-up call in the long run?
Definitely, yeah, for sure. Because what it's allowed me to do is kind of reset everything back in at home because listen, my family life is hectic. It's very busy. Like even trying to get on a Zoom call, you know, like with all the kids, mate. Honestly, it's mental. But I mean, it's allowed me to reset. And also in regards about training and my training camp, I'm back with Richard. I've still got Ian on board. But the last camp with when I boxed Ryan, obviously there was Roy Jones, there was Richard, Ian. Lee Wilkins. There was just a lot going on. Where now I'm just going back to what me and Richard know best, and that's boxing and moving and being slick.
Would you say, obviously, you mentioned the list of people you had in the corner. Would you say sometimes it's not as beneficial while you had some great names listed there? There's almost too many voices, and they might not agree on certain things. And like, one coach might want you to do one thing, but another coach might say, no, that's not right. You've got to do it this way.
Yeah, and that's the prime example of it, really, because everyone's input means the world to me, you know, and I can see everyone's points and like I understand what people want me doing and how they think what would work with me. Yeah, so it's good to learn it all, right? It's definitely good to learn it all, but let's just face facts. Archie Sharp is very well known for my feet work, being unorthodox, making people miss and counter punching. That is what I've always that is me at my best, you know. And I feel like me holding my feet or doing certain things just was allowing me to kind of get into this war sort of thinking, this ego fighting where I'm just having a brawl and trying to knock people out when that just ain't me, you know. So so yeah, I can like I say, everyone's input, it's all coming from a good place and it's all relevant. Like it's great advice. But for myself, me and Richard know how to fight. We've been training with each other since I was 7. And I know and he knows how to get the best Archie Sharp out of me.
And then going forward now, do you have any idea as to when we can see you back in the ring?
Hopefully ASAP. So we're looking at a couple of options I think on the table. Like I say, ideally I wanted the rematch straight away. If not, we could potentially look at a new weight for myself going into lightweight. There's options that we're looking at. So hopefully, yeah, we'll be out as soon as possible before the end of the year. And straight into a big fight. Ideally, that's the plan.
So are you done with, obviously, we know you had a little eight rounder back earlier in the year. Are you done with that now? Is it just you want to go straight back into these big fights?
Yeah, I need to get straight back into the big fights, you know, and that's probably one thing with the Ghana fight that I was lacking. Because the last proper domestic good like back and forth fight in regards of like this could be a 50-50 fight was back in 2019. So it's a long time, you know. Like obviously he come off a couple of good wins. Obviously Liam Dillon being one of them when I boxed on an 8 rounder, which probably helped him out in favour in regards of having that good domestic fight. with myself. It's been I've been slacking that a little bit lately. But now I've had the fight, regardless on the outcome. We don't need 8 rounders. We need big fights.
What were the emotions like after the fight? 'Cause I'm sure it's never nice to suffer your first professional defeat, but in that immediate aftermath, what was going through your mind?
Um, yeah, obviously gutted. I was absolutely gutted. And I was fuming with myself because, like I say, I know, and it's no disrespect to Ryan. Like I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know I could beat Ryan Garner. It's just I allowed all these other things play a part, and I just messed it up really. And I was fuming with myself, you know. So it was very frustrating, very very frustrating. 'Cause I did come out there and think, oh, I got beat by someone there. I didn't know what to do with him. I come out there annoyed, thinking, why did I hold my feet? Why am I trying to have a fight? I have a fight with a fighter. I should have done what I've done in the first couple of rounds, which was box and move. He couldn't get close to me for 2 rounds. And then once the head clash come and the cuts, it just all went out the window.
Would you say the head clashes and cuts almost scrambled you a little bit? Not in the sense necessarily that you were hurt, but just a little shock to the system.
I think it's just, yeah, look, the thing is, the cut, obviously, the one that was just above my eyelid there, they had up 5 or 6 stitches. And what it was just it was running. So the corner done very, very well. Where's the cutman done very well to stopping it. But as I was going out there halfway through, if one shot on it or anything, it just the Vaseline, the blood, it was just pouring in, and then for me to be nice and slick, it was just all messy. The whole thing was messy. My game plan was messy. I was erratic in the ring. Then I had blood coming from everywhere, and it just threw me off what I needed to do. When I should just literally calm down a little bit, just get back to myself and just box. But it is what it is. We like I say, you live and you learn, and we have to put it right now.
And you mentioned obviously wanting to put it right. When you get back in the ring, hopefully before the end of the year, what do you want to show everyone? What do you want to remind the boxing fans who Archie Sharp really is?
I'm just gonna get back and do what I do best. You know, I do what I do best, and that is just making people miss and putting on a display. There's a lot of fighters out there that are doing all this. Like I'm not being thinking it with Ben Whittaker and there's loads of good fighters out there that's slick and but I was doing that since a baby, you know. I've been doing that since I've been in there. I won what was it, 8 national titles or something silly, beat some good kids all the way through and that's what I was known for. And I just kind of I lost my way a little bit, but I'm just gonna remind everyone how good I really am, how good my boxing IQ really is. And yeah, it's time to display it now. I'm 29, so I feel like I feel good now, and especially if I'm looking at doing a 135 as well, I'll be good for the weight.
Well, just moving away from yourself, obviously, it's been a very exciting time in boxing. We've been on a little, I guess, a little marathon of big fight after big fight. But most notably, we had last weekend in Riyadh. We had
Yeah,
Better Biev versus Bivol. Before we go on the undercard stuff, what did you make of that main event?
yeah. I thought what a great fight. What a great fight to watch. Listen, I thought Bivol just nicked it by a round. Um, but that's the sort of style of boxing that I like. You know, like in and out, good feet work. And I thought he boxed class. But yeah, it was a great fight to watch.
And then, do you feel, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the judges' scorecard. Do you feel all the judges should almost have to follow the same criteria? Because some judges would have preferred better BFs coming forward, but other judges preferred the clean work from Bivol. Do you think all the judges should have the same criteria to look at for how they score the fights?
So the thing is, it's hard because, like you say, styles. It's that's kind of what that boiled down to. There was people start what they preferred, what judge preferred, whether coming forward or boxing slick on the back foot, and it's a hard one, mate. It's a hard one, and this is the only thing with boxing on the back foot, and this is what happened with me a little bit with Ghana. If you box on the back foot, you have to win so clear. It can't be like nip and tuck. You know, it has to be. Very clear. It's as simple as that. But it shouldn't be boiled down to people's preference at the end of the day. But it's an hard one, mate. I don't know how you're going to stop it. And I really don't know how you're going to stop it.
Fair enough. And then just a fight on the undercard. We saw Chris Eubank Jr., a very notable name in British boxing, back in the ring. Um,
Yeah,
More looking at what happened after the fight. opponent that he was scheduled to face a couple of years back now, Conor Benn, got in the ring with him. And it seems that Turki Al-Sheikh has shown interest in making a fight between them again. If Conor Benn and Chris Eubank get in the ring, what do you think happens in that fight?
Um, you know what? I don't really know, to be fair. I don't know how tight, because Eubank did look pretty tight at the weight at
Hmm.
160. He does look tight at the weight, and can Conor Ben come up? I don't know. Yeah, it's a good fight. I think everyone would tune in. I'd definitely tune in and watch it. So I think it's a good fight to make. Um, Not too sure. I totally agree with how Conor Ben's selling the fight, to be honest with you. But listen, that's another story. But I think it's a good fight. It's a good fight for British fighters. I think everyone will enjoy it.
What is it about the way Conor's selling the fight that you don't necessarily agree with?
Well, I weren't probably too impressed with the whole going up to miles, making weight and things like that. Like, man's there to do a job, you know. Like, I know you want to sell a fight and you want to have a little bit of beef or whatever, but pick your times. Don't go and get a man when he's trained completely coming down, boiling down to the weight. You know, he knows what it's like when you got to make weight, and don't really want to be coming into a conversation like that, really. So yeah, I weren't really. I didn't think that was a clever move to do. I think he's kind of mugged himself off a little bit in that sort of sense.
Well, fair enough. Do you feel with Conor having to step up to middleweight, do you feel that could be a bit of a bad move for him? Obviously, we know they can't really make the fight any other weight. Um, but could him step into middleweight at this stage of his career when he's still quite young not necessarily be the smartest move for him?
Well, at the end of the day, look, he's the one who's really pushing for the fight. So he has got to go to Chris's weight. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. He's the one who's really pushing for the fight. If he wants to fight him, then he has to go the weight. That's up to him. Can he do it at that weight? That's another story. You know, I don't really know. Um, because his last fight he didn't exactly show the power that it was knocking everyone out. Whereas before, do you know what I mean? So that would be interesting. But he's definitely a good kid. Um, Probably one of the most improved British fighters, I think. I remember when he first got on the pro scene, I weren't really much of a fan. But his last couple of fights, his last few fights, he's doing really well. So that'd be interesting. Interesting.
Who do you believe opens up as the favourite out of Ben and Eubank?
If he went up to Eubank, I'd say Eubank was the favourite.
Fair enough. And then just one more fight on the undercard that we saw. A fight that didn't really get much traction in the build-up, but when the whole card was done, I think it's probably the most talked about fight outside of Better Be and Bivol, and that was Liam Cameron versus Ben Whittaker.
Hmm.
Obviously, if you know your boxing, you know the unbelievable journey, both up and down at times for Liam Cameron, but he's definitely riding a brilliant wave at the moment. What did you make of his performance against Ben Whittaker?
But I thought he boxed very well, and I thought he was winning the fight. I think he was unlucky to get the draw there. Thought he was winning the fight. Thought he done yeah, brilliant. Box brilliant, and showed a lot of heart, and he was strong, and he was coming on very strong.
What did you make of the way the fight ended? That's where a lot of the talk has come from, with both fighters going over the top rope. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I personally think that he threw himself over for a way out. Whether he meant in his head at the time for if I throw myself, the fight's off. I don't know, but definitely to bide a bit of time because he was struggling and he was struggling and his energy levels were dipping very very quick, and he still had a long way to go. So he's probably on foreign territory and didn't really know what to do, and that was kind of like a way out. And then once it all went on and there was a big commotion, I think he probably thought, I might as well stay down here. That's my personal opinion.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's that really.
Do you feel Ben Whittaker has to rematch Liam Cameron in order to move on in his career?
Yeah, definitely. Like, definitely, he'd want to put it right. Listen, he might come back and go back to how he's been performing, um, and and really make a statement. But that's what he needs to do, really, in my personal opinion. If it's but the way, especially the way that the fight finished out, like how it finished, he was better off just getting on with it and then just seeing what would happen. But I definitely think Cameron was on the way of winning there.
Well, Archie, thank you very much for your time. Just lastly, have you got any messages for any fans, any sponsors, the people backing you in your career? Just going to give you the
Yeah,
stage quickly.
always forever grateful for everyone. Like I say, sponsors have always been on part of the team, and everyone always supporting. Do you know what I mean? Coming to the fights, tuning in. It means a lot to myself, and I'm looking forward to kind of putting on a big show for everyone and getting back into these big fights.
Well, Archie, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we see you back in some big fights very, very soon. Cheers.
Now, God bless you. Thank you for your time. Thank you.